The Scorpio full moon is my favorite full moon of the year. Not because it's cute, not because it's sweet, because it is transformative. It's about healing from the past, seeking the truth, releasing power struggles, and it's about turning your pain into power. If this is your first time seeing me, I'm Sammy. I'm the owner of Infinity Aura Ave, where we focus on wellness in all shapes and forms, mind, body, and soul. Today, we're here to talk about the astrology. Twice a month, I log in for the moon meetings where I discuss the cycle from the full moon to the new moon to the full moon, and the things in between, depending on where we are in the month. This time, we're going to focus on May 1st, which starts the Scorpio full moon, and we're going to go into May 15th, right? I got the board over here that I'm looking at. May 16th, which is the new moon in Taurus. So we're going to talk about the energy shifts in between. If you're watching this on Instagram, please come over to either TikTok or YouTube where you will get the full video. If this is not your first time seeing me, you probably know from the last video, but I kind of, not that I've given up on the table, I'm just not feeling it right now. I had the table and we were doing the transits on the table so you could kind of see, but what I'm going to do for now, we'll see, maybe I'll go back to the table, is I'm just going to put the chart on the screen and we'll talk about it like that. It just gives me a chance to really chat to you guys instead of being so focused on the table in front of me and trying to show you what the transits are, where I can just look at them on my laptop and then I'll put it up here for you to see and we can discuss it that way. So let's get into it. Before we talk about May 1st, which is the Scorpio full moon, I want to talk about Uranus in Gemini. We just had a big transit. So Uranus was in Gemini last year for a little bit. You got a little bit of a preview of what that would mean for you. But then Uranus retrograded back into Taurus, where Uranus was for the past 7 years. We saw a lot of shakeup in finances. We saw a lot of shakeup in the agriculture industry and the beauty industry, which I was um, paying attention to probably the most just because I also do that here at Infinity Aura Ave. If you didn't know, I'm a licensed cosmetologist. Logan's drinking water. Let me let him finish. Like I was saying, I'm a licensed cosmetologist. I do practice here at Infinity Aura Ave, but on the online shop, I have made my own lotion, my own face oils, things like that. We're shifting with Uranus and Taurus. We saw a big shift into more natural products, which is what I'm into. There's also products on my website that are not made by me, just natural beauty brands that I do recommend for hair and skin. So you can check that out. That was a Uranus in Taurus example. Anyway, so Uranus moves into Gemini. We're going to see a shakeup in communication, education. I've been talking about that for a while, and just learning and speaking and trading information in general. So that happened on April 25th. I spoke about it, like I said in the last video, and we left off at the Scorpio full moon, and that's what we're going to pick up now. So let's put the chart up for the Scorpio full moon. Actually, I gotta find the exact time. So the Scorpio full moon is exact May 1st, 1:22 p.m. Eastern time. What I do tell you guys, I talk to you guys about this all the time. The charts and the planets are not fixed to the second when the transit is exact. You will feel the energy come in before and you will feel it leave after. There's a flow of things. It's not just that 1:22 p.m. Hits and that's all the time you got. You're going to feel this leading up and you're going to feel it after. And that goes with all transits all the time. If you've been here with me for a while, you hear me say it all the time. So what are we looking at when we're looking at a full moon? We're looking at the sun in Taurus with the moon directly across the chart in Scorpio. The sun in Taurus is really about shedding a light on the things that bring you comfort and the routines that you need to get going. And it's a slowdown from Aries season. Although we still have a lot of energy in Aries, including Mars, which is this full moon is ruled by, because Scorpio is ruled by Mars. So you have to look at Mars in Aries too. Then you've got the moon in Scorpio. The moon is in detriment in Scorpio. She doesn't really love it there. It's very it's hard. Not that it's hard to feel the feels, but the feels are so intense that sometimes they're just really hard to look at. Now, like I said, this full moon is ruled by Mars, so we have to look at Mars in Aries. Mars likes it in Aries because Mars is also at home in Aries. Mars in Aries is about really getting the thing done that needs to get done and doing it with the most energy possible, the most focus possible, the most motivation possible. You cannot, even though we're in Taurus season right now, it's a little easy to get really, really comfortable. You cannot waste this energy because once Mars goes into Taurus, it's a little bit more like slow and steady wins the race. Whatever you have been doing, you will be doing more of that. Whereas Mars in Aries is just initiation, go, 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 try this, do that, get that done. A lot of energy to really be productive. With that said, okay, because we're looking at Sun in Taurus, Moon in Scorpio, Mars in Aries, I really want you to look at what is making you so comfortable, what is making you so uncomfortable, what are the things that you need to do, right? What are the obligations that you have, the motivations that you have, the things that you really need to get done to hit those goals, and how are they being helped or hurt by that comfort zone, by that uncomfort zone? And what is it that you need to release within that dynamic to help you get going in these areas? This is also the financial access because you're looking at Taurus and Scorpio. So Taurus is what you have and your values and money just in general, your possessions. And then Scorpio is investments and debts. So you also kind of want to look at that. And this moon is square Pluto in Aquarius. With that square, there is a tendency to try to control the emotions. And I'm not saying don't control your emotions, but I'm saying don't do it in a way where you also do not feel them. That's the risk you take with Scorpio moon, especially with a square to Pluto. There has to be some kind of acknowledgement. If you let the feelings of a Scorpio full moon take you, okay, instead of acknowledging them and feeling them and understanding where they're trying to change you and transform you, you will lose the plot. Because you have to remember Mars is in Aries right now, and this is about doing the things that you identify with that are going to help you reach your goals. There's so much going on in Aries. Um, you've also got Mercury in there, you've got Saturn in there, you've got Neptune in there. Saturn and Neptune are longer transits, and these transits are about what can you do, right? We're looking at boundaries in Aries. What can you do? What can you not do? What are your responsibilities to take on? What are not necessarily your responsibilities to take on? What are you responsible for as far as your goals? Mercury in there is rapid fire, rapid ideas, quick, sometimes a little bit impulsive. So for me, the big picture on this full moon is looking at your big picture goals, right? How are you headed in the correct direction for these? Where are you too comfortable, Taurus season? Where are you so uncomfortable that maybe you're just not doing enough? Where could you be doing more and harnessing this Mars in Aries energy to really get things done to reach the next level? I thought about this today and I've talked to you guys about it before. This is why we're all under the same astrology, right? And you get people we all go through these transits. They're happening in different houses of our life. For this, you want to look at the house that rules Taurus, Scorpio, and Aries. Check them all out. But some people are just not progressing in the same ways as other people. And why is that? If we're going through the astrology chart, right? It's a circle, okay? So we go through these seasons and we go through these different cycles, and sometimes they're a little bit different because certain planets shift, especially the outer planets are shifting a little bit more, especially this in the last year or two. Why is it, since we're all under the same astrology, that some people progress and some people stay in these cycles. And it is because you will repeat the same cycle. You will go through the chart over and over and over. And it is up to you to either naturally, because some people you go through this and you'll watch the astrology and you're like, oh, I'm already dealing with this and I'm on the right path. Naturally, you will feel the energy, you will understand the shift, you will go through these things. Sometimes you need the chart to really unlock certain things, but that's what it is. You unlock, right? You get to a certain, this is why I like to do the new moon and the full moon. You get to these illuminations where it's like really like a wake up call and an opportunity to, you can do it at any time, but these are big. The illuminations are big. It's an opportunity to get to the next level, right? So you can go in circles and you can repeat these same cycles and lessons over and over, or you can choose to use the energy in a way that lets you unlock it to the next level, right? Because you're still on this same cycle. You're still going through this astrology, but now you have ascended to another level. So the lessons are similar, right? You'll go through similar energies and similar things, but they allow you to progress, right? But in the same instance, you can also go backwards. And it's not linear. You're not going to always like this and you're not going to always like that, but astrology does help. That's why I love astrology for a lot of this stuff. So this is an opportunity to really look at yourself, okay? Mars and Aries. What do I need to do? What do I have the motivation to do for myself, for my goals, and how can I reach them? Sun in Taurus. I'm comfortable doing this, but am I too comfortable? Let's look at the Scorpio Mars stuff. What is making me emotionally uncomfortable about some of these things that I should be transforming and working a little bit harder and doing something else? What do I need to leave behind that might be a little bit tough emotionally for me to get past, that like maybe I don't need this right here, right now at all, so that I can focus a little bit more on these goals and these aspirations that I have to get to my big picture goals. That's enough for the full moon. That was a lot. Let's move on. We're gonna look at May 2nd. On May 2nd, Mercury moves into Taurus. So Mercury in Aries is a lot of rapid fire, big ideas, lots of fast communication. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I hope you took a lot of notes because some of those ideas probably got left behind. Mercury in Taurus is a little bit more slow and steady. Instead of just firing things off, people are speaking with more intention when Mercury enters Taurus. They're listening better. Instead of just thinking things for the rapid fire madness that it can be with Mercury and Aries, there's a little bit more focus, okay? Which is why with that full moon, you can say, this has to go, that can stay, this is working, that's not working. Mars is still in Aries here, so there's still the energy and the motivation to really get things done, to really be active, to really have the motivation. Did I say that already? Yeah, whatever. But the mind slows down a little bit, so there's more of an opportunity, a little bit less of a distraction, and more of an opportunity once you've gone through this full moon to say, that was not working. Drop it. Now let me recalibrate. Mercury is in Taurus. I still have this Aries energy this Mars and Aries energy. What needs to be done now that I have dropped off some of this dead weight? The next day I want to look at is May 6th. On May 6th, Pluto goes retrograde. This is a long transit. Pluto's going to be retrograde until October 16th. If you've never seen one of these before, this is an ephemeris. I use this when I need to look ahead at the date so I don't have to look at the chart and go forward in the chart to see what's going on. If you're seriously into astrology, if you're thinking of learning astrology, this is one of the first tools that I ever got. And even with like the tech that we have now, I still use this. So anyway, Pluto going retrograde, I would need you to check your chart. You have to look to Aquarius, what house Aquarius rules in your chart. And that's where you're going to feel it the most. Pluto represents where you're transforming yourself. This is also because it's an Aquarius. Aquarius is through community, through technology. This is also brothers and sisters. Did I say technology? Sometimes AI. So if you're into AI or you're using AI, you might want to use this time to look into it a little bit deeper and not necessarily learning new things, but reviewing the things that you've learned in the past couple months that Pluto has been direct. Because this is a generational planet, it's not really something that I typically look at, unless it's hitting some of your personal planets. It's not something that I'll typically look at as far as a personal reading. But if you do have personal planets in there, you do want to look at that. You do want to take that into consideration. So for the full moon in Scorpio, if you don't know, yes, Scorpio is ruled by Mars, but it's also associated with Pluto. They both rule death, rebirth, transformation. I will be making a Scorpio oil. I don't know what I'm gonna call it this time. I used to have one so if you are just seeing me brand new or like within the last year, I have been running a spiritual business pretty much locally since 2018, and I had a Scorpio oil, like a death and rebirth transformative type oil that I worked with that energy. Um, but I rebranded a lot of stuff. So I'm going to be re releasing this. I'm going to work with this Scorpio full moon energy. And this is a great oil to use with the intention to use it for this Pluto retrograde. But anytime, really, you can use it whenever you need. But if you're looking, especially if you have personal planets in there and Pluto is bulldozing over these personal planets and you need a little bit of extra help, I will have that oil coming out on the website sometime within the following weeks of the Scorpio full moon. And then the next big shift that we have, let me see if there's anything else I want to look at actually before, because we do have the new moon in Taurus would be the next thing that I have on the board here, but let me see if there's anything else I want to look at before I get there. Oh, yeah. So on the same day, I don't know why I don't have this on the board. On the same day, May 6th, Mars in Aries is in a square with Jupiter in Cancer. This square is just getting started around this time, so you have a little bit of time to work with it, probably through to the next new moon. This is really good for anything that requires confidence or energy. So a lot of this stuff that we've been talking about, I need to get this done, and I was not necessarily doing the right things for that because I was scared of this or I was too comfortable over here. This Mars in Aries square Jupiter in Cancer is really, really good for putting some confidence into that. Okay. So now you have this idea. I've been through this full moon. My mind slowed down a little bit because Mercury is now in Taurus. So I can kind of see like where I need to go next, what needs to be done, what can't come with me, and where I've been holding myself back because I've been too comfortable, where I've been holding myself back because maybe I was a little bit too uncomfortable to do this, and how you can really put some confidence behind that. You don't want to be, this is big energy, okay? You don't want to be one of those people that gets stuck in the same cycle and finds themselves in the same place doing the same things with the same people next year. How many times are you going to learn the same lesson? How many times? How many times do you want to learn the same lesson? Or do you want to use this Scorpio full moon? I love a Scorpio full moon. I love a Scorpio full moon. One of my first rituals was a Scorpio full moon. That's when I really was like, no, I have to get my shit together. Like the Scorpio full moon is so, so good if you know how to use it correctly. And if you let the moon in Scorpio energy eat you alive, it absolutely will, and you will get nowhere. So you can either use it to your benefit to propel yourself forward towards these goals that you're working on and get rid of the distractions and get rid of the nonsense and get rid of the fear and get rid of where you're too comfortable and take yourself seriously. Or you can just be really upset when you can't figure out why you're so stuck. With that said, new moon in Taurus is May 16th. I'll see you probably a day or two before then. Um, I did want to pull some cards. I felt really called to do this. I don't know if this video is getting a little bit too long. If it is, maybe I need to split this up. But if it's not, stick around. I don't think it is. I think we'll be fine. I don't do this often because I don't love collective readings, right? But I'm going to set the intention for some advice that's geared towards this Scorpio full moon and how you should handle it and what needs to be done next, what you need to pay attention to. So if we can look at that, the reason I don't like collective readings, I'm just going to wait for some of these cards to give them to me. Oh, here goes one. Queen of Swords. Say what you need to say. Say it directly. Say it sharply. This is also about boundaries. So if you're having an issue with setting boundaries and being in charge of what makes you comfortable mentally, you need to use your words to do so. That's big for this, okay? So if you're somebody who's afraid to say, I need this, I need that, I don't want this, I don't want that, get over it. Get over it. Anyway, what I was saying is that the reason I don't love collective readings is because you have to take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And a lot of the times the algorithm's just going to push what you're seeing, especially if you're on TikTok and you're watching the TikTok tarot lady. They put keywords like when those things pop up and you see the keywords on the screen, it's for a reason. They're using it for the algorithms. If you're going through something and you're stopping at the same keywords, you're going to see the same readings over and over again, and it's just going to validate you into nonsense. Partnerships, okay? If you are somebody, this could also go for the other card, right? If you need to set some boundaries in partnerships. But if you need to come together with people to get things done in a certain way, that also might be something that you need to look at. Where can you help each other? Where are you not comfortable asking for help? Where do you need to ask for more help? What is it about coming together with people that is beneficial to you or not beneficial to you? Where do you need to set those boundaries when it comes to coming together with people as far as being productive? Do you have things that you need to do and sometimes people are getting in the way when they come together, when they want to come together, and you're like, no, I have to do this, I need to get my priorities straight, and you're having a hard time of setting those boundaries? Maybe that's something that you're dealing with that needs to go for this full moon. I'm going to ask for 2 more cards and we're going to talk about them a little bit. So like I said, that's why I'm just rambling for that. I like this better than a regular collective reading. We might do this more often at the end of our videos, actually. But like I said, be careful, okay, when you're looking at the YouTube and TikTok tarot ladies, because the algorithm's going to do what the algorithm's going to do, and it's just going to rope you in and it's going to validate certain things for you, and you're just going to fall. The reason I'm telling you this, okay, is because years ago when this stuff first started popping up, I was looking for other people to read for me, because you do, like, as a reader, sometimes you need to check in with somebody else. And I was roped into that nonsense. And I can see where, and this was before TikTok, bro, okay? This was on YouTube that I was doing this. And then it's worse on TikTok because now, like I said, they put those keywords up and now you're roped into this nonsense and you're looking at the same things over and over again all day because they know how the algorithm works and they're just trying to trap you into their content. Whereas I'm going to tell you, if you need a reading, it doesn't have to be with me, but if you need a reading, you need to book it. You need to book a personal one-on-one reading with somebody. You need to talk to them, preferably with astrology and tarot. I do both, but like I said, it doesn't have to be me. Tarot is for clarifying certain things. Astrology will tell you about the energy. But if you need a reading, get off of the TikTok and the YouTube. Let's just pull 2 more cards again because these, maybe I'm just rambling too much and they don't want to show me anything. So we're going to pull 2 more cards about this full moon. Knight of Pentacles and the Emperor. Whatever these boundaries are and whatever these things that you have to let go of, and whatever this motion that you need to get into in the correct way to move yourself forward, you need to take charge of it. You need to use your words, okay? Use your words in a very, very specific way to say what you need to say and mean it. The Emperor does not joke around. The Emperor is going to tell people that they need to go to war and they need to do it now, and this is how you need to do it, and this is what we're going to do. And then the Emperor sits there and waits for them to execute those things. I said what I said. That's what it is. This is how it needs to be done. And I'm going to wait for you to do it. And then he just takes care of himself, right? He's the counterpart of the Empress. So then at that point, he takes care of himself so he can take care of his kingdom. Anyway, that was fun. I did enjoy that. Let me know in the comments. This is a little bit different than I usually do. I'm going to get this out for you guys as soon as possible. I'll let you know when the Pluto oil is out. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, so we'll figure that out. If I'm going to go Pluto, Scorpio, whatever. Everything's available at infinityauraapp.com. You can also book me at infinityauraapp.com. I'm on Instagram. I'm on TikTok. I am working on getting some of the oils on the TikTok shop, and that one will be up there as well. It was great to see you. I had a good time shooting this one. I do want to get outside, so maybe next time we'll shoot something outside. I've been trying to change it up a little bit because I was doing the table and we were doing the same things for so long, and it was just, I'm a Sagittarius. We're gonna switch it up here from time to time. All right. Good to see you. Love you. Bye.